to really help my customers understand things that they don't realize are a problem. And I like to help them find a path.
Welcome to the Howie and Beastmode podcast, where we discuss all things business, including growth, strategy, and execution, as well as personal and professional development. Let's join Howie and Beastmode in conversation.
And sort of like take that pressure on yourself to have things done, everything done instantly. Where I went with that is that this Friday night after work, I had dinner. And then the girls and my wife went to Grammy's house, and I stayed behind to work on the forecast. And just kind of wanted to have that done. I didn't want to have it throughout the rest of the weekend, so I worked on that for a little while. And then I had some time available, and nobody's around. So I basically got to spend some time doing something proactive. And what I did proactively could be, somewhat impactful. And I have found that sometimes that I've slowed down, like you're talking about, and I've given myself permission to do something kind of like slower and not under pressure and not under deadline, but something creative and proactive. Those things have led to really good business outcomes for me, business and career outcomes.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. It's something that I'm just really reconsidering in my mind. I really feel like that I'm intentional with my pace. It's not something that, we talk about empathy all the time, trying to be empathetic in the moment, seeing everyone, trying to, whenever I go to the grocery store and things like that, I'm generally not walking around with my phone out. I generally take my earbuds out. So if I hear something that I'm actively engaged, I try to do some of these things, but then I'm just considering, my pace with my team or my pace just in business in general. Am I allowing myself the time to fully invest myself in a task? Or am I trying to accomplish one task while thinking about the next task, while preparing for the next task? And I'm getting things done, but I'm just trying to figure that out. I'm thinking about it. I'm probably going to actively think about it and work tomorrow. But what am I doing? Am I allowing myself to be in the moment whenever a team member comes to me and has a question? Am I slowing down? Is my pace expressing the love that I have for this person, for the work that we're doing, for the customer that we value? It's just something that's on my mind.
Got it. So you're focused on slowing down due to the people relationship side.
Definitely to the people relationship side, but also if it's not worth slowing down for, maybe it's not something that I need to be doing. Like if I don't have the time to slow down and do it, I probably don't need to be doing it at all.
I would say when my team comes to me, I do slow down, but I'm probably at times I will slow down, but I'm also like, in the back of my mind, things are burning, things are on fire. So I kind of like make myself do it because I want to be there for them and I want to solve their problems. But in my mind, I'm on fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll have to make this up elsewhere. You know what I mean? So there has been those times. I remember sometimes. Also, I find that I'm so responsive to people. I'm so responsive to my team that I kind of like, I eat last. Simon Sinek says leaders eat last or whatever. Yeah. And that's so basically kind of like he's saying that's good. And I agree that that's good for leaders to eat last and to be present for your team and to serve them because they're the ones doing, a lot of the frontline work. But you better eat yourself too. So whether that's like something whether in this case, some of the time sounds like you're going to be resting some this week as well. And that's great. So I just, as you know, I just went on a retreat as well. I will never go as long as I have a year and a half before I do another retreat, by the way. I'll never do that again because it was life-changing. So I think, giving yourself some space for that, for kind of like a little retreat and a little bit of time off to think and reflect is good. And then I also think just time to do your special projects that you need to get done, like being a little bit selfish. Because as a leader, you're at the top of the pyramid and you can have everybody under you in the pyramid will benefit from the things that you do. Because the things that you're doing are not just like, it's not like you're getting your nails done, right? And, and my girls love to get their nails done, and that's important. But, in terms of like, as a leader, you do have to give yourself space both to rest and to work on proactive things. So yeah, I feel like I make space for my team, but sometimes in my mind, it's like things are burning and I'm just letting them burn because I want to be present. And I think you have to balance and fight for some time and, block your calendar or whatever to do the proactive stuff and also to get rest.
Yeah, I just wonder if, and I'm wondering this for myself too, like, is there, because there's a lot of times whenever you're trying to do a new task, you're trying to do a task differently, you're incorporating a new habit, there's that resistance in the beginning. And there's so much scientific proof that talks about, having a value moment with a person, taking the time to do that will, even though you're slowing down that immediate, the value it has over that person over the next, whether it's the rest of that day or the rest of that week, or, depending upon the moment, the rest of your lifetime of friendship or collaboration with that individual, but being able to do that where it says, right now, yeah, I'm going to suffer for 30 minutes, whatever has to be done or supposedly has to be done is going to go to the back burner, and I'm going to juggle plates in the back of my mind. But at the end of the day, this person that I'm having this conversation with, they're going to get 10 times more done because we've now figured this out. They understand that I'm on their team. Whatever issues that were inhibiting them are no longer issues, and now they can focus 100%. But if I'm not slowed down enough to recognize, hey, this is an opportunity, this is a moment. They talk about that too, about capturing moments. A lot of times we want to capture back time and say, I need to get this 30 minutes, or where can I find this hour? And it's more about, when can I capture this moment? Because this moment can actually create time, not in the literal sense, we all have the same amount of time, but if you're able to capture this moment with this person, their productivity may go from 80% to 90% because you've now provided clarity, provided value, provided empathy and sympathy and compassion. Now they're taking things off of your plate, or whatever, doing their job better, which again, now your numbers look better, whatever it is, all because you slowed down, spent the 30 minutes and did that. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, it did. The first part was the most resonating for me. And what I took out of it was, there's a multiplication effect.
Yes.
When I deposit, I don't remember your wording, but it was good. And it definitely left me in a good spot, and kind of, I'll take this away for sure. Like, thinking of those moments in a little bit longer term time frame. Like, yeah, I'm giving, her, let's say, 30 minutes right now, and I'm helping to give some ideas or help solve a problem or whatever. Like, Friday, I spent some time with somebody, but like, and I do care. So even though in my mind things might be burning, that I should be getting done. And there was Friday, honestly, there was something. But in this case, it was a him, and I spent time with him and solved some problems. And I also heard some struggles, and I wanted to encourage, because he was willing to open up like that, I was able to encourage him too. So I know I made a deposit. I know I did. I made a deposit in his life, in his career, in our relationship, and honestly, in the team success too, because I was able to kind of reduce his anxiety about some issues, as well as help him through a couple of specific tactical things with customers. And so it was a really neat time. So I think I like what you're saying. It's like, because I was doing it, but I was feeling the pressure. And what I think you're helping me is like, having more of a purpose can sort of reduce the pressure.
Yeah.
I'm willing to make those deposits for my team. I already was doing that, but I felt pressure as I was doing it. But now that you're giving me this great idea of like, take a longer term view about the relationship and about how you're helping them and the whole team and the whole company, really, by that this is an investment. This is not just you not getting something done for 30 minutes or an hour. This is you making an investment, and that investment has a longer term horizon than I know and then I can see. And so that helps me replace. I love to have like consonation where it's like P and P, you know. So you're helping me to reduce the pressure with purpose.
Well, I wonder if slowing down is like fasting. So whenever you fast, whether it's for faith-based or for diet reasons, when you initially fast,
very popular these days,
and regardless of the reason, again, there's the point is when you fast, you feel it, and it's difficult and it takes an adjustment period. But whenever you get past, whether it's you're fasting for 24 hours or you're fasting, hey, I'm going to start doing this thing where I don't eat after this time frame, eventually your body gets in groove and says, this is good for me. And then you start seeing positive outcomes. And then what happens is now that fasting, it benefits other places. Yes, I'm fasting food after 5 p.m. because of health issues, or because I want to have more clarity and I want to spend time listening, or whatever it is, whatever the purpose is. But now being able to say no to fasting may mean that I'm able to say no in another area because it started with fasting. So maybe if I slow down and I spend time slowing down at work, trying to capture a moment, trying to finish a task, trying to be present in what I'm doing, maybe it'll roll over someplace else positively as well, maybe at home or maybe someplace else. That's where I'm thinking. And maybe there's just that little itchiness, anxiety. Some people could say maybe it's just, you feel like you're juggling plates in the back of your mind. But maybe after a week of intentionally slowing down, that subsides. I don't know. I'm curious to find out.
I don't know. I think it's really interesting, and I don't know. I am really big into, so on the Myers-Briggs, I'm an ISTJ. So I really like systems and repeatable processes. So the things that you're saying are good principles and concepts, but I don't like to invent things every time I touch them.
Yeah.
So I like to invent it once and it works, or it's good enough, and then I just do it that way. Like I don't change shampoos ever. Like I'll probably have the same shampoo forever. Same thing with deodorant. I just have the same process, and that's not uncommon for people. There's a lot of ISTJs actually out there, and I think men actually have a lot of just similar things. Whereas my girls probably would like to have different shampoos, or whatever it may be. So the things that you're saying are great, but I wonder if I'm thinking through like how to systematize that. You know what I mean? Because it's hard. My business is so diverse. Like every day is kind of different.
Yeah, I think you just put guardrails up. You put bumpers up, and it doesn't mean that you have to put new processes or procedures in, but you put bumpers up that force you to slow down. Like I'm telling you that I've done with empathy, that forced me to be empathetic. I'm trying to figure out, okay, what bumpers can I put up? They're going to force me to slow down. Mm-hmm. They're going to force me to do this. And maybe it starts outside of work. Where this thought really originated, I was listening to another guy, and he was sharing about it. And he said the way that he started his process of slowing down was he literally slowed down. He would not, his entire commute, he stayed in the slow lane and drove the speed limit the entire way. He forced himself to do it. And at every stop sign, he forcibly came to a complete stop. And he said in the beginning, his mind is going crazy, like, go, 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 but he's just creating bumpers, creating boundaries.
It's like a metaphor.
Yeah, and it just rolled over to conversations. It rolled over someplace else, I just wondered.
Because things travel, like we talk about a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whoever said that was a genius.
That was you.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, things do travel. Yes.
Awesome. Very cool. So, so it kind of feels like 3 themes are kind of emerging, but maybe there's more that you are picking up on. One of them is slowing down in general.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the other one is slowing down for people. And then the third one is slowing down for priorities. I mean, I love to use P's as or other letters like that. So slowing down to be purposeful, slowing down for people, and slowing down for priorities.
Yeah.
I like that.
But and I don't want to confuse slowing down with being lazy or just like being nonchalant. That's not it. It's more about being present, to go with your P theory.
Good job. Thank you for that.
It's just being present in as many moments as I can throughout the day. And it could be in a task. I'm writing this email, so I want to be present 100% for this email. And then when I go to the next task, I want to be present there. And there's a conversation that wasn't on my schedule, but now it's here. So I'm going to pause this and be present over here. But that takes slowing down. And there's so much science behind multitasking and how we literally can't do it, and you're just doing things halfway if you're trying. And so the only way to stop doing that is to slow down. And I just wonder if by doing that, if you're going to validate the science, which says you're actually going to do better work, quality work, get more done, the whole turtle in the hair,
I really like to watch TV while I'm doing like proactive work. So if I'm working at night in my own time, sitting right over here, my monitor that I'm in front of right now is a large monitor, but it has a Roku. It's a huge monitor, but it has a Roku on it, so I can watch TV on it and stuff like that. And I have a little sound bar right here. And so I love to watch a show while I'm doing maybe my forecast on Friday night or whatever it may be. But I have found that if I have a visual in front of me like that, and I'm, as you say, multitasking, it doesn't really work. And I'm probably like 2 or 3 times slower. The quality, it doesn't go down, but I'm double checking everything and it's slower. I can actually do headphones a lot of times because it's not a visual distraction. So I can sort of handle that. But yeah, I have learned that multitasking doesn't work great for me, especially if it's super important. I mean, I at least I turn off the visual. I might do audio. But yeah, I think you're not wrong. And I will freely admit that I used to think I could multitask and I really can't. So slowing down and being, like you said, being present really is something that I've had to work on. And I'm not perfect at it yet. Sometimes I'll still compromise and still do that.
No, I mean, I don't know anybody who is, but I just like postulating about this. And even if you start, like we said, outside of work, it's got to carry over, and I just wonder what the ramifications would be. And I've seen habits that seem like they would be difficult or that seem like they're counterintuitive have a exponential effect positively. And I'm just wondering if this is one. Like, how far can you slow down, again, while maintaining productivity, while maintaining, getting work done, everything's still getting done, but I'm just slowing down, my presence, my thoughts, my actions. And I just wonder what the output would be, Would I get more done in less time, which then actually frees me to have more time, which is what I really want, I'm thinking that the answer is yes.
Slowing down too also is about investing, So like it could be health.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, it could be like better shopping, going a little further away and getting, stuff that's a little bit healthier from a little bit healthier place maybe, or taking a walk. I've wanted to go on a walk around the lake for a few days and I haven't made the time to do that. But that's something that I really want to do. And so just like health, going for a walk, lifting weights, whatever it may be, but slowing down, I think is also, and that's one area on the health side And even on the mental health, things that you do to invest in your mental health, I think those do travel. I really do. It's like those do have a transference over into your business.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard a story, and I'm excited to go read more about it, but it's, whenever, so in 1913, when Henry Ford really got the assembly line narrowed down, right? He got it working full speed. Everything was good to go. Just the ramifications of how quickly they're trying to get work done, trying to just multitask, get everything done, and really just kind of making work so monotonous, like taking the passion out of work, taking the purpose out of work, taking the moments out of work, and really just made every individual a cog. You do this, you do this, and just the ramifications negatively that actually had on Ford. Were they productive? Yes, but from what I was reading, what normally would take 10,000 workers ended up taking 80,000 because 70,000 quit over the same time frame, because they didn't find the value. They didn't feel valued. They didn't feel productive. They didn't feel these things. And I just wonder, is because somebody was trying to maximize, okay, can I get the maximum amount of your time in 4 hours, as opposed to saying, hey, I'd rather give you 5 hours and we'll spend an hour, adding value, slowing down. And maybe I didn't have to hire and fire and retrain 70,000 people,
Yeah, wow. That's really interesting.
I just wonder, how that same mentality translates to today. Whenever we have a team, you have a staff, whatever, and everybody's trying to get the maximum out of you in 40 hours. How high can I get your productivity? I'm focused on this, focused on this, focused on that. I now feel like a commodity instead of a person, whenever, if it's, let's just slow down. I think those numbers are going to increase on their own. So
it's good. Yeah, somebody said that on LinkedIn recently too, something about you just need to support your team and get things out of their way and not micromanage them. We don't need you to be a manager as much as we need you to be kind of a problem solver. That was kind of interesting. It was a sales related post. But I think there's a lot of truth in that, and different, your workers are the closest to the situation and to the customer for that matter.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you're listening and you're slowing down to listen, and you're really good about active listening. But I think if we all sort of like work on that, then I think we'll have better intelligence about operating the business and improving the business as well, because we're tapping into the most relevant sources of information, which is those that actually do the daily work.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just really intrigued by this. And mainly it becomes because of the conversation of, and I know that you've said it a lot, is about the hustle, or it's about, I've never really equated hustle and hurry as the
No,
same.
they're not the same thing. They're not.
But I'm just kind of
hustle just means so I'll give you an example for hustle. So in Austin last week on Monday, we dropped off cookies at 3 different accounts, right?
Yeah.
And or actually donuts. We dropped off Voodoo Donuts, really fancy donuts, down in Austin at 3 different accounts. And these were accounts that we were trying to get meetings with, because I'm in sales and sales management. So me and my rep were down there. And so we went and got the donuts. We put stickers on them. We put a little note. We put our business card on there. And then we went and we drove all over Austin to these 3 sites. And unfortunately, all 3 of them were very thinly staffed because of the Delta variant. And so it wasn't a great drop off, but that's hustle. And I've done it recently in Houston, where I did get in. In fact, one of us got us a critical meeting that may end up getting us a nice deal. So that's hustle. It's like, it's not in a hurry necessarily, but it's a little bit above and beyond. It's using a little bit of creativity. Hustle means sort of like an entrepreneurial mindset, you know what I mean? Like a creative, fresh, willing to go above and beyond is kind of what hustle is. To me, that's just my little thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think that there's a negative aspect of hustle. And again, some of this is I'm just kind of thinking about it. I try not to be hard fast on anything. And so I'm just open-minded because I like to get things done. I like to hustle. I like to think creatively and find and be flexible and move in and out, but also I want to make sure that if I'm hustling or hurrying or whatever, that I'm not, bypassing an opportunity or missing a moment, that I could really capitalize on. So that's just really where I'm coming from. So.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Yep. And I think, whenever you can do, I don't know, I think for me, it comes down to, if you can slow down and you can really pause and really give yourself permission to think and to, set some goals. And then, make sure you fight for that time. Like you said, sort of like, I don't remember the wording, but essentially giving yourself that space, giving yourself that time. And then also fighting to prioritize people and listening and helping and being present for them. I think all those things are really, 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 really great. And some of those will probably impact me this week.
Yeah, I love that. Prioritizing people over whatever outcomes it may be or whatever. Just prioritize people. And this is not just in work. I think that's a good thing to live by. Let's prioritize people everywhere we go. At the grocery store, at the gas station, prioritize people.
I think you do that. I think the reason why that resonates with you is you do that. I think I'm more selfish than you are and more introverted. And so when I need to encounter you, you have a very intense focus for me and an intense and genuine care. But I don't really have radar up to do that. Like I do when I need to. I think you're a little bit more natural at just like encountering everybody. But I think, I need to work on prioritizing people for sure. And just making sure that I'm being present and, giving people that time. I think I do it at work, but it's very expected because it's, as a people manager, it's very expected for me to do that. But like outside of work or with like extra situations, maybe in work, maybe I'm not doing that. So it's something to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, I think we also don't want to beat ourselves up too much, because we're all carrying a heavy burden. I think Mother Teresa said that. And so we need to make sure we're giving ourselves some space. And that's where that rest we talked about early on, that's where that comes in. It's like I can be more effective. I can be a better business partner or a better manager or a better employee or better whatever if I'm also rested. And it's funny, in my last company, I think my boss started picking up on a trend that if I couldn't work on something special and proactive every few months, I started going crazy. And it's like, I've just learned that every few months I need to build something or I'm going to go out of my mind. And I'm saying that with a lot of exaggeration, but I just become dissatisfied. Like I'm not giving myself, like all I'm doing all day is responding to what, the company needs or my team needs. And like, I have ideas and I have stuff that I want to go do, which ultimately will help everybody, but I have to give myself space for that. And so hitting the pause button to serve people, but also to serve the needs of being proactive is really a critical outcome, I think, from today's chat for sure.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you, Howie, for all that you do. Thank you for pausing, slowing down to take some time to chat tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Beastmode. Appreciate it a lot. Definitely good insights. The people inspiration is going to really serve me this week. I'm going to really really be thinking about that.
Yeah, and I hope you hold me accountable to slowing down and resting this week. I look forward to giving you an update.
I would love to hear about it.
All right, brother. See you soon.
Talk soon.
It doesn't have to be spontaneous. I try to tell people that all the time. Spontaneity doesn't